Have you ever wondered which of the sons of the Emperor was the best, or which ones had what advantages over the other? Well, here in this video we will do just that and compare two of the primarchs side by side, starting with Horus and Sanguinius. We will take a deep look into their different origin stories, their attributes, their sizes, strengths and even weaknesses, and most of all how they would fare against one another in a battle to the death without outside interventions. So let's get to it. Let us begin with their background and upbringing. So each of the 20 or 21 primarchs were scattered all over the galaxy by a chaos vortex, them as babies, and all of them landed on different planets. Horus's early days is somehow not really affirmed. One source states that he was sent into a world of Chthoniya through a vortex, where he thrived in its harsh environment and learned war from tech barbarian kill gangs. Chthoniya was a post-industrial nightmare with techno-barbarian gangs running the world, so this environment gradually shaped his persona and greatly influenced his demeanor, probably a factor driving his ambitions and ultimately culminating in him becoming the War Master. But conflicting sources claim that he returned to Terra early on and grew at the Emperor's side and played a pivotal role in reclaiming the Sol system. And the Emperor spent significant time with Horus, teaching and fostering a close father-son bond, making Horus the Emperor's first and favored son. On the other hand, Sanguinius landed on a moon called Baal Secundus inside a gestation pod. Mutated by the warp during that yeet, he developed majestic angelic wings. He was found by a tribe called the Folk of the Pure Blood on Baal Secundus, and despite their initial fear, compassion from their part spared his life, and he was adopted and then grew into maturity very fast. Some say that he survived that initial threat to his life due to his mutated angelic appearance. Anyway, raised by the tribe, he rapidly matured, displaying incredible physical prowess and also later leadership. His notable feats included slaying a giant fire scorpion and single-handedly defeating a band of mutants. Sanguinius rose to lead the united Baalite tribes against the mutant infestations in that planet, demonstrating both strategic brilliance and combat mastery. Worshipped as a god for saving Baal Secundus, his early experiences shaped him into a powerful and revered figure, marking the beginnings of his cosmic destiny. So regarding their upbringing, both had equally rough and tough times as kids, which shaped their mentality towards the world and humanity as a whole. Granted, Sanguinius was shown and had more mercy and compassion despite the rough wastelands he was raised in, which really influenced his noble persona later on. So after they were found by the Emperor, let's discuss their roles in the Imperium as a whole as primarchs. Starting with the Great Angel and his Legion, the Blood Angel's history as the Eaters of the Dead or the Revenant Legion implies that Sanguinius' gene seed had the power to purify mutated populations. His angelic appearance and his Legion's transformation from savagery into nobility supported this idea. However, the unintended consequence of the Red Thirst after Sanguinius' death, also the Black Rage, shows that the complex and sometimes unpredictable nature of the Primarch's destinies in the Emperor's grand design. Anyhow, during the Great Crusade, the role or the purpose of Sanguinius was always to be the greatest of fighters and a beacon of hope for humanity. He was supposed to be the prime example of what every man should be or aim to be, a cursed and flawed individual who overcomes his weaknesses and curses in order to shine above hardship, an ideal that would break through every mortal inflicted with pain or hopelessness. On the other hand, Horus as a primarch and the leader of the Lunar Wolves Astartes Legion played a pivotal role as a tactical battlefield genius, demonstrating a strategic brilliance and a unique and keen understanding of deploying forces efficiently. As the Emperor focused on rediscovering the rest of the primarchs, Horus was entrusted with temporary command of the Legiones Astartes, a responsibility that prepared him for his later role as the War Master. After the successful Ullanor crusade against the Orc Empire, the Emperor elevated Horus to the rank of War Master, granting him command over all the Imperial forces. In the later years of the Great Crusade, Horus fostered competition among the primarchs to improve their combat abilities and lead his forces in significant campaigns, winning all of them. So if Sanguinius was created to be a beacon of hope and to be the greatest warrior of humanity, Horus was created to be more of a general in battle, a commander that, although is very powerful, relies more on strategy and tactical brilliance to achieve his goals. He would be the brains versus Sanguinius' brains, which is not to say that the Great Angel is any less of a genius himself. Now let's take a look at their physical attributes, meaning their size, speed, and fighting abilities. Both of these sons of the Emperor were at least 12 feet or 3.65 meters tall, and would both weigh in at least half a ton without their power armors on. They were as fast as you can imagine. See, if a Space Marine could run at a speed of 60 miles an hour or around 100 kilometers per hour, the Custodians, which were a leap above them, could double that and have a reaction speed of in the microsecond scale. Therefore, the primarchs would be a small step above the Custodians, and they would hypothetically run at speeds of a supercar and with a reflex reaction as fast as fractions of a blink of an eye. But Sanguinius was still one step above an average primarch in fighting abilities, where even the Wolf, Leman Russ, and the other primarchs admitted that they will not be able to defeat him in single combat. Also, with his unique set of weapons, he was even able to beat back one of the most powerful greater demons of Khorne, Kabanda. He was so powerful that some of the sources say that he was initially the first pick of the Chaos Gods to be their champion against the Emperor, but since he rejected corruption, they had to settle with Horus. This doesn't mean that Horus was weak though. He was powerful in his own right, but all in all he was still maybe an above average primarch in fighting prowess, but one of the best in tactical acumen. Okay, let's dive into their special armors and weapons. So Horus's Terminator armor was called the Serpent Scales and was crafted by Master Adept Urtzi Malevolus and was enhanced by the fabricated General of Mars Kelbor Hall. This unique artificer armor was a prototype that was resistant to both physical and esoteric attacks. As for his weapons, he firstly had the World Breaker, which was a power maul which was bestowed upon Horus by the Emperor himself. Aside from its capability to shatter armored ceramite, it served as a symbol for Horus's rank as the War Master of the Imperium. Presented on the day Horus assumed the role, it showcased the Emperor's favor and Horus's elevated status. He also possessed the War Master's Talon, which was a unique set of lightning claws, and featured a twin bolter which was a precursor to the modern storm bolter. This is the long-favored weapon of Horus, and sources say that it could have been an ancient relic which dates back to the Age of Technology or the Dark Age of Technology, whichever term you may use. Sanguinius, however, the Primarch, adorned the Regalia Resplendent, a golden artificer armor, a power armor, that was thought to have been crafted by the Emperor himself. This ornately decorated suit provided superlative protection while allowing the Primarch to move freely in flight. His primary weapons included the Blade and Carmine, wielded alongside the Spear of Telesto, both used in battles against formidable foes like Kabanda, Kairos, and Madail. This spear, the Telesto Spear, emits a deadly energy beam that can vanquish any target which doesn't have Sanguinius' blood in them. He also has the Infernus, which is a potent pistol, and was employed during the Horus Heresy, capable of inflicting serious damage on both infantry and vehicles alike. Additionally, he also has the Moon Silver Blade, which was effective against demons, serving as a backup weapon alongside the spear, reportedly granted by Rogel Dawn and crafted from the same alloys as the Phalanx's frame, which was a huge warship that was used by the Sons of Dawn. This formidable arsenal of weapons reflects Sanguinius' prowess and versatility in combat, so both of these Primarchs had their own set of weapons and special armors. While Horus's was more suited for close quarters combat, even though he was not the best, Sanguinius' weapons were both dedicated for both ranged and melee combat. Anyway, before we come to the conclusion, let's take a look at their special abilities and powers, and then come to a comparison. Although having no special powers out of the same that every Primarch has, Horus was instead considered an extraordinary military strategist, regarded by the Emperor as the greatest general in the galaxy. His charisma and ability to connect with most of his fellow Primarchs made him the War Master. His extraordinary genius, alongside a close relationship with the Emperor, marked him as a jack of all trades, in leadership as well as others, earning him the respect and cooperation of his brothers. Sanguinius, however, aside from being slightly faster and more resilient than his brothers, he also had wings that enabled him to fly without the need of assisted technology. This made him the greatest shock trooper of all time, a champion in all aspects. But his most valued special ability is his precognitive sense, which comes and goes, enabling him to see visions of the future and future outcomes as well, to a point where he can counteract the same senses that Conrad Kurz had. beating the space Batman in a fight with only his bathrobes on. So, if you take all that was said in this video into consideration, Horus without Chaos, or the help of the Chaos Gods, would never have been able to defeat Sanguinius in a fight in the Vengeful Spirit during the Siege of Terror, but he would be able to maybe use his wits to create a scenario where the Great Angel would have to retreat or take a loss, but never in single combat, which would from the start be a disadvantage to the War Master. So, in a fight one-on-one, Sanguinius would beat Horus, but in a prolonged battle, the results could be mixed. Anyway, if you like this video, then check this other one as well. And if you want to browse for other Warhammer content, then check out our channel. We have come to the end of this video. Subscribe and like for support, and bang on the bell icon for notifications. Till the next time, take care, boys.